as you get ready to start adding details, a lot of your heads that a lot of you are making are going to be a pinch pot. One of the things you want to be cautious about is not getting your opening too wide. So you do your usual wedging, you do your shaping into a round ball, and when you need to make an oval head, then you make more of an oval shape. If you need to make it a circle, then you make a circle shape. And then you just do the same type of process, but when you put your thumb in, then you almost keep this about the same size of your thumb, but you can take it and you're going to push it out this way while not opening up the opening. So you can widen it up by just kind of like tipping your thumb back, and then you're pushing out your clay so that you don't get too big of an opening. If you do get too big of an opening or it gets too thin, then it's easily cut off, or you can take it, simply add another coil like you were doing some of you on your bases, and you can do your score and slip and add a coil if you need it to come in and be a little bit smaller. When you are adding your details, some of your body parts probably need to be a coil. So you'll do your usual, you'll pinch off your clay, roll out your coil, and just remember that arms, legs, tails, feet probably need to be a little thicker. Well, they do need to be a lot thicker than what you were doing for building your vessel. And the other thing is to keep in mind that they don't necessarily have to be round all the way around, because you're going to be attaching these to your vessel. So you can have one side a little flat. You can always take a coil, tap it, and then you'll still have the roundness on the edge here, and then you'll have a flatter side. You can have a completely round coil that you also attach to the surface of your vessel. The other thing is that you may want to take and get one made, and then you may want to make a second one so that they are the same size. The other thing is when you go to put them on, you may want to like stick them on, put the other one on the other side. You can simply take your paper clip, draw little lines where that's going to attach, and then that's where you know that you will be scoring it to roughen it so that it sticks. Because remember, whatever you attach, you have to do the same process where wherever two pieces of clay touch, then you have to join them. And then you just take your slip, put it on, attach it, and then you're going to take a tool and you're just going to take and you're going to pull that edge down into your clay like that. And then you just, get it smoothed out. We'll do the completed smoothing once we get completely finished, because as we handle it, we roughen it back up. We may have some areas that have to be refined. So it's easier to do all of that actual type later. But if you are dealing with a lot of cracks, yes, we can add some water and fix that. And so you do this, of course, all the way around. When you're attaching any parts, you still have to score, slip, and smooth all that down. Don't use any of the tools that are torn or that are rough, because they're going to leave marks, which some of our tools are broken and they leave marks. Be sure that you're making a smooth, because you still want to keep that shape there like that. Let's say that you needed to make an ear that goes with something, and you got a couple of ways you could do that. So for example, I cut one out. So that way they're both exactly the same. I took a coil or took a piece of clay, just flattened it out because I want this to be round. And then you can apply your cut out pattern to it. Use your paper clip, use one of these wooden dowel sticks, and then you can trim it to the size you need, because some of your objects don't need to be flat. They need to be rounded. They need to be shaped, and you can come in with your finger, your thumb, and then you can smooth that out, shape it the way you want, turn it the way you want, and then when you get ready to attach it, then you do the same thing. You do your lovely scoring. You score where it's going to go. The same process. If you'll put it where you want it, do a little mark so you know exactly where to score it, then you can attach that on there with your slip. And you do the same exact process again. You make sure that you smooth out your edges. Be careful though, the thinner they are, the easier they are to break. And we have to be very careful about that. Some of you have some letters that you need to do. I know several of you have some footballs, and I got to thinking that they may be better done with a coil that you flatten out rather than an actual flat piece of slab. Now you can certainly do that and have it completely flat. It's whatever your vision is that you want. but the same thing is the same process. So either you have a slab or you make a slab. So if you have to make a slab, you're going to pinch off your clay. We're going to have to make sure whatever size that we need, that it's large enough. And if you'll just kind of pound it out, make that little pancake some of you were making. And again, you want it to be about 1/4 of an inch thick. So we're going to work on those math skills. And so you don't want it too much thinner than that. So you can roll your own slabs easily and take and apply whatever it is that you need to use as a pattern. Put it on there. I like using paper clips because they're thin. And then just do your tracing around it so that you cut them out. And then you do the same process of scoring and slipping to attach those. The final step is going to be taking a coil, flattening it out to create the lip to keep your jar from your lid from falling off your jar. That can be on a on a slab. It could be on an actual round pinch pot. The process is the same. So you are going to have to know whatever your opening is for your vessel. You're going to have to know what that is to know what size that you need, because it has to fit down inside the base. That's the main goal. And you're going to take it, and if you're using or you need to make a slab top, then you make a slab top. You turn over your base and you trace around it. So again, if you do need a slab for your top of your lid, you roll it out, you put this on, and then you take a pencil, you take one of these styluses, and then you cut that all the way down, and then that's going to be the base for your lid. So the process continues when you get through with that. So once everything is finished, and you can do this before you get finished, you just have to be careful not to tear it off. So you roll out a coil and you just take and you press it flat. We're going to create a lip for our lid. Now, if it's not straight and one side's fatter than another side, then you take your tool, I like these, and you just draw that. We've got rulers. You can put a ruler on it so that it's straight. And you're going to create that edge that's flat. Then you're going to take your lovely lid, you'll turn it over, and then your flattened out piece, regardless of if it's a slab, the slab works the same. It would go here on there because it's usually not going to be on the outside edge, I don't think. And then if it's on a pinch pot, it will go here. And you're going to score it. First of all, make sure it fits. And then you score and slip, and you're going to have a raised lip. The same smoothing process is there, so if you don't do any of this, it'll separate when it dries. And then you score wherever they touch, and then you do your lovely glue. Don't forget your glue. You'll attach those on there, and then you're going to gently smooth that out, because if you're too rough, you're going to end up doing away with your lip. And then you won't have any way to keep it inside of your jar. And then you just take your tool and you just smooth that down and still leaving that edge. So you want to seal that seam like you do with everything. And then when you get ready to store it, you cannot put your lid on top of your base so you get everything smoothed out. Then you're going to take water, smooth anything out that needs to be smoothed out. And then when you're finished, you're going to have a piece of plastic that you're going to put between the two, because they have to dry together. So we're going to pretend that this is my piece of plastic. It's going to go between my base and my top. The top will sit down in your jar, and they're going to dry together like that, because your clay shrinks, and we have to make sure that they shrink together or your lid won't fit when it's dry. So they'll have to have a piece of plastic. They will be covered very loosely with your trash bag so that they dry slowly, because some areas are going to be thicker, some areas are going to be thinner, and we want it to dry slowly so it doesn't crack and separate areas that are joined. So this is your final step. If you do it before you get completely finished, that's okay, but you just have to make sure that you're not knocking ears off or your nose or your antlers, and you can't flatten it out. So you do it when you get ready.